There we go. Took a second. Okay, then. Interesting way to start the show, since we started doing this off the air, but we're not going to do it off the air. We're going to do it on the air, and we'll have to go back to the beginning of our conversation. And if that doesn't confuse you, just wait until we actually start talking about it.
Going back to the future,
everybody. We're going back to the future. Hold on to your butts. We'll be right back.
The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek Easy.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about?
it's about nothing.
All right. Well, we're going to jump right in, both feet. Off the air, we were talking about copyright infringement and lawsuits and all that kind of stuff, and no, it has nothing to do with Axnar and CBS. Although we did talk about that. Yeah, for once it doesn't have anything to do with that, but it seems to be there's an awful lot more of that coming out lately. A lot of people jumping on, a lot of companies are like, hey, wait a second, stop jumping on my stuff. But I guess, Alistair, you know more than I do. You should take this one.
Well, there's a YouTuber I follow, Sid Alpha, and he covers a lot of stuff that happens in sort of like the back room dealings of the video game world and lawsuits and stuff like that. And he posted a video about Harebrained Schemes, who's, I think they did the most recent Shadowrun game, and they're currently working on a BattleTech real-time strategy game. And it came out that they're being sued by Harmony Gold, who I should mention is actually a real estate company. And they're being sued because back in ye old days of like the 80s, Harmony
when
Gold,
I was your age.
back
Yeah.
when I was like 2,
I used to eat dirt for supper.
Harmony Gold,
You're
as
lucky
well
if you had
as
dirt.
FOSSA. The people who made the Star Trek stuff too.
FASA.
FASA.
Mufasa.
Jointly owned.
Ooh, do it again.
Jointly owned the licensing rights to designs of robots from Macross.
Robotech, to the layman.
Harmony Gold went on to produce a bastardized television series called Robotech.
Which in turn was 3 entirely different series. One of which wasn't even part of the original Super Dimensional series.
They basically took a lot of paste and glue and some scissors
They Voltron the heck out of it.
and made a
Pretty
story.
much.
But eventually, Harmony Gold sued FASA over the designs because they both had the rights to it. And it was eventually settled out of court. We don't know exactly what the settlement was. Fast forward to now, and Harebrained Schemes is making a new BattleTech game. And they're not even using any of the designs that are colloquially known in the BattleTech universe as the Unseen because they cannot be visibly shown. But they're still suing them anyway. They're also suing Piranha Games. But to be fair, when it comes to Piranha Games, well, they did do some redesigning. Yeah, they still look a little similar.
But reading the court filing, part of the reason that they're suing Harebrained is because Piranha Games is making a MechWarrior Online game, and it's tagged as MechWarrior Online, a BattleTech game.
It's because MechWarrior occurs in the BattleTech universe.
Yeah.
But that's why they're throwing some of this harebrained. I mean, it's not the only reason, but that's part of the reason.
They're suing Harebrained is because the guy who runs Harebrained was the guy that ran FOSSA when they did the lawsuit back then. They're trying to drag him back into it.
Because, why not?
Well, I've got on the stream right now the first image you shared with me, which would be the Officer's Pod / Glaug.
Yeah, and the thing it's compared to is called a Raven.
Okay. Now, this is where you asked me on my opinion, and as someone who does illustrations and art and all that kind of stuff, whether or not I would, if I was the original designer, would I freak out? No, not at all. If I owned the rights to the black and white line drawing, and I saw harebrained schemes infringing according to them, I'd be like, oh, cool, that's kind of cool. The one on the right-hand side is it's obviously a Macross design. It has that look, and it's just in that world. It has the very anime feel to it, whereas the one from Harebrained, it's very generic looking. I mean, it's like, there's how many games out there that have bipedal mech robot suits like picking up a tree that you don't need to be. I honestly think there's more than 10% difference.
Oh, it's obviously. Now, and I'll get these pictures to you soon so you can show them. They're also suing Piranha Games, like I said. And they got a bit more of a lawsuit, I think, when it comes to Piranha Games.
They have a bit more of a case.
Yeah, a bit more of a case. Because a lot of those designs, they brought back the unseen, that now called the reseen, but they didn't redesign them too much. And I'll get those to you as soon as I can.
Yeah, going back to Harmony Gold while Alistair looks for that. That whole thing
It's actually why Alistair edits that.
Yeah, that whole thing with Robotech and Macross, that in and of itself is an entire legal mess to begin with. Because Tatsunoko gave Harmony Gold the distribution rights for only the first Macross series, which is the first 36 episodes of Robotech. Harmony Gold, thinking that, oh hey, we have the rights to the entire franchise, let's just stonewall them and just make an entire new universe. And it's also the main reason why you don't
haven't gotten
see
Robotech in about 30 years.
any
Macross.
new Macross since Plus in what, early 2000s.
I noticed the other thing that, at least in the one wiki article as you shared, Roland, is that Tatsunoko wasn't actually allowed
The owner.
to license the property.
That, like I said, that in and of itself is an entire legal mess.
So basically, someone who didn't have the rights gave someone who doesn't have the rights to something they don't have, so they sued somebody. But the U.S. Patent Office, being the U.S. Patent Office, says they have the rights.
It's the Copyright Office.
Whatever.
Either case, it's honestly the main reason why we're stuck with basically what Harmony Gold has, and why all the more interesting stuff still stays in Japan. Though, to be fair, in the case of Japan, they you'd have to deal with a lot of royalty payments. Because there's a lot of singing involved.
All right, Adam.
Oh, okay, wait a second. Are these the
those
Piranha?
are Piranha games, yes.
Okay, this is a whole different world, though. Yeah, this is where it now starts to come into the state, because now I'd be going, you know what?
But the Piranha stuff is technically separate from the Hairbrain stuff in terms of usage. That's
completely different
really
companies,
dumb
completely
about
different
this.
projects.
Yeah, that top one.
The Archer.
I can see it to a point.
I could see it. It's still. I mean, the shoulder mounts.
It's
more of an
upper half,
homage.
the lower half, no.
No, yeah, upper half. Most lower half is more Transformer. Now we go to the Warhammer and the Tomahawk. Yeah, you're all over that one.
Yeah.
That is a blatant copy.
Absolutely.
Keep going
Yeah.
down.
But wait, there's more. Oh, geez.
I can't keep going down.
There's 3 images. 4. There's.
Oh wait, I gotta go back. Hold on.
You thought the last one was blatant? Holy crap.
Yeah, wait till you get to the Rifleman.
And there is definitely some slight tweaking, but not much.
Yeah,
Right?
right down to. I mean, they even copied the fin on top. What
Do
were
you
they
like
thinking?
radar? The cockpit designs are even similar.
I'm actually opening the images, so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the Marauder is. Yes, I would say yes. You have copied. All you did. Yeah, that's pushing it. Now, as for the Valkyrie, again, Transformer-y, generic kind of. If you lost the 2 things on the back, yeah.
Both
I think you'd be safe.
those designs are so generic to begin with. It's hard to
Honestly,
say.
with the last one, the Phoenix Hawk, it's more reminiscent of you purchased it and later regretted it, Alistair.
GoBots.
On the Xbox. Which one was it?
I purchased it. And later
Did you purchase
regretted it
Titanfall,
on the Xbox.
Alice?
That's it.
Oh,
yes.
no, I didn't purchase it on the Xbox. Purchased it on PC.
Actually,
Yes.
The Phoenix Hawk is Optimus Prime. If that was painted blue and red with flames on it, and the 2 stacks on the back were smokestacks from a truck, that is Optimus Prime from the Michael Bay movies.
I don't know. To me, it almost just looks like a guy in a mech suit.
It's either a Titan or a Gypsy Danger variant.
The Super Valkyrie.
The wings are very Warhammer 40k. The wing design on the front.
The Emperor protects.
Yeah. You know what, though? The Valkyrie, because it is such an iconic image, I mean, they're really, again, there's a reason why they used it for Jetfire. That is the Jetfire, right? The Valkyrie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Mostly because Tomy just reused that
The mold. Yeah, like Akara did. Takari, whatever it is. Whatever the one, whoever made Transformers in Japan back in the late 70s.
It would have been, actually, no, you're right. Takara.
Yeah. And then Hasbro bought the molds from them and made their own. But the, I don't see there are similarities because it's a bipedal humanoid robot. But the similarities end there between the Phoenix Hawk and the Valkyrie, whereas the Marauder and the Glaug are, yeah, that you're pushing it. That would make me go, man, they copied my stuff. that would make me do that. But again, it's the difficulties in coming up with battle pod, and I mean, in this day and age, because everything is so saturated. Try coming up with a new spaceship idea, and you end up with the Orville, which, in my opinion, is the weakest part of that. What I'm looking forward to that show, but the Orville itself, the design of the Orville is kind of weak, with the squid thing going on in the back and stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, but I mean, everybody copies everybody, and it's coming to this point where even the copies of copies look like copies.
Yeah, okay, yeah, here's a better colored variant of what the Glog looks like. Here's I get the right window. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
That's pure, first generation Marauder.
Yep.
That's how I remember seeing it anyway. A little bit more blocky in the game, of course.
Just a wee bit.
I don't know. It's touch and go. Again, I mean, if I was the artist of the Valkyrie and I saw the Phoenix Hawk, I'd say no. If I was the guys who designed Optimus Prime for the Michael Bay movies, I'd be like, hey, they copied my Optimus. The Marauder, definitely. Let's go back to the other ones.
Well, the Rifleman, yeah.
The Archer, yeah. The Warhammer, yeah. Rifleman, most definitely. Yeah, I'd say against Piranha, they have a much better case. But I'm not a lawyer. And that kind of stuff. But as an artist, I would be worried had I designed something that looked like that. And someone came after me because there's an obvious someone had that hanging up in front of their computer while they were designing that.
The problem is that they combined the two cases into one. They sued both at the same time under one case. I think that's going to cause an issue for them.
So, yeah.
I mean, and since Robotech, or since the original Macross, they've updated the designs on the goddamned Valkyries. In fact, they aren't even called Valkyries anymore.
Just called Vertex, aren't they?
Yes, Veritech.
Yeah, they're called Veritech Fighters, but this is the VF-31.
And they have multiple modes. They don't just have the battle pod mode. They
don't have the FG and the, I think it was FG and R mode.
It's Fighter, Battleroid, which is the human form, and then the Gerwalk, which is the one that got Hasbro in legal trouble because of Jetfire.
They worked it out, unless the transformation cog breaks in the middle.
Skyfire. Sorry, it is Jetfire, but Skyfire in the cartoons. They never explained why they changed it.
Yep, and there are your three images. Battleroid, Fighter, and Gerwalk.
Gerwalk! You are just a veritable fountain of useless anime knowledge.
That's why when Roland popped in today, I was like, Roland, we're talking about Harmony Gold. And he was like,
I loathe Harmony Gold with a passion.
Now, the copyright thing.
Please, tell us why you feel this way.
I'm trying to think, aside from CBS sued Axanar, which was a debacle from the get-go. Because of brand confusion, copyright infringement, and that kind of stuff. And it's understandable because he was trying to make a Star Trek film. Their own words. They were making a independent Star Trek film. Sorry, you can't do that. This kind of stuff. Did you guys recently see? I know, Jim, you probably saw it. The Star Wars fan film that's now.
It looks. I gotta say, it looks interesting. It's quite a pitch.
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't have a link to it right now.
Because I know there was they kickstarted the third season, even though it still isn't finished yet. They kickstarted Chapter 3 of Imps the Relentless.
No, it's not. Imps.
No,
Imps.
I think it's called the Blood Crystal.
Yes, the Blood Crystal.
Yeah.
And the guy, I mean, he's done a monstrous amount of work already. There's a lot of props done. I mean, incredible concept art. Had to cost a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah,
this guy's thrown. Yeah, this guy's thrown money at it. He's had professional artists working on this, professional designers.
It's a serious passion project, really.
It is.
And
the
you can
problem is, it smacks Axanar. It just smells like Star Wars' version. And the way this guy is pitching it and the way it's thrown out there, I mean, he uses Star Wars music, he uses Star Wars imagery.
Yeah, but the thing is, and this is the thing, so long as he does not use any of that money to make a profit or to buy anything,
them and made them paint over it. I mean, this is how just Disney will be. They'll pick on a daycare center. So,
yeah, but to this point, we've already had we've had a lot of fan films just since Rogue One. And there's been peep out of supports the 501st.
well, of course they do. But this particular project, the Blood Crystal, just there's something so different about it, so much more high end that it could create some brand confusion.
I don't know, because just looking at it doesn't look any more brand confusion worthy than it. Yeah, because there's a lot of quality.
I think the thing with people using brand confusion as a defense or offense, whatever, to go after people is it's a flimsy defense. When it comes to Star Wars, you know what it is. When it comes to Star Trek, you know what it is. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no question. You're not going to be confused. Should you protect your brand?
I had to run.
We'll do that.
What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss?
They were just talking a little bit about.
Well, you missed the fact that they apparently couldn't spell Stormtrooper to $500 backer level.
Yes. Now, I saw this and I was like,
What?
What?
Did we just lose Adam?
No, I'm
Adam?
still here.
Oh, okay.
I'm having, again, Wednesday night issues.
Think we should change, I don't know, change days.
I don't know. But it's just Wednesday night issues. It's just a common occurrence. Nothing else is on in the house. It's just me.
VPN, are you?
Nope, VPN's off. Everything's off.
Didn't have this issue on Friday.
No, we didn't have this issue on Friday because nobody's home on Friday.
There's your answer.
When I saw the Kickstarter for the Star Wars thing, I was like, yeah, you're going to bring the mouse down on you hard. And it's not... If Star Wars wasn't in its renaissance right now, they probably would just let it slide. But they're not... they are actively producing films and television shows and stuff like that. So you put out a fan film that's over... the 10 minute, I think you're allowed in their fan film board thing.
Yeah.
When they have the when you produce a half hour, 40-minute film, they're gonna start looking at it, and they're gonna be like, "Dude, what are you doing? I didn't make any money." Yeah, but infringing doesn't need to have monetary profit. That's where a lot of people are concerned. There doesn't have to be a
I
monetary.
think, yeah, I think where Peters drew ire firstly was
There's
by
a few
saying
other
it was
things
an
involved,
independent Star Trek
and
film, and then to cast Star Trek actors in his fan film. He cast Gary Graham in the exact same role he played in Star Trek, and made sure that he dressed the same way and looked exactly the same way, and nothing was changed.
those were Chinese symbols, dude.
Yeah, right. And then
It was a space vampire.
Yeah, space vampire.
Yeah, I know, and I had to laugh at that because no one's going to buy that lame ass excuse. So, but what he did, he drew their ire by thumbing his nose at CBS, and that was a big mistake. And we were all telling him, dude, you don't want to poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. And this guy doing Blood Crystal, I don't see him doing that, but I see him insisting on a level of quality that might be well and above what a lot of the other fan films are doing, and that's where you can compare it to Peters, because I got to give him this. He was insisting on a high level of quality. He wanted to really up the game and raise the bar, and that's fine. But when you're doing that, don't thumb your nose. You know, but that's my 2 bits.
Now, I would hope this guy who's doing it, if he is approached and he is given a cease and desist, or he's given a heads up or a warning or something, that he would be, what's the word? He wouldn't try to sell their own product back to them, for one, and then offer it to them for free. Oh, I just offered to it for free. I mean, they don't need it. They've got their own. So that, I mean, go graciously with it. Say, okay, you know what? You're allowed to play in the sandbox, but you can't play that much.
Right. Then you ask the question, is it okay if I do it if I dial it back? You know, I really feel strongly about doing this. I've got to get it out of my system. Would it be okay if I keep it to the 10-minute level, or if I do X, Y, and Z? What would you like me to do that would make it allowable?
Does he have a length on it? How long he wants it to be?
I have no idea, but it looks like it's going to be pretty damn involved.
Yeah, it does look pretty involved. Now, again, they might let it slide because his story has so much, from what I read or listened to his spiel, it goes completely against what they're doing now canon-wise.
Yep, it does.
It goes against a lot of the canon they've already established, and they are reestablishing. So, I mean, they might let it slide. But again, that's Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm used to, when Lucas was the head, Lucas actually, to a point, encouraged creativity.
As long as you didn't make money.
Exactly. As long as he didn't make money, he encouraged the creativity. With Disney involved, there's a whole different world, because the mouse does not like copyright infringement. I heard you talk about, just before I walked away from my mic real quick, Jim, you were talking about the preschool that got in trouble for the Mickey Mouse stuff, right?
Yeah. The happy part of that story is when Universal Studios found out, they sent some of their scenic artists down there to paint characters.
Nickelodeon, characters.
Yeah. Paint characters that they already had licensed, and they did it all free of charge, and that was like, that was their big thumb in the eye to Disney, which was a beautiful thing.
It is. I mean, because when it comes to that kind of thing, there are so many people think that in Universal or Disney there's a competition down there. They really think that there's competition in Orlando. Universal is a fly on Disney's shoulder that annoys them every once in a while.
Yep.
And Universal, vice versa. My ex-wife, used to Universal, and actually applied a couple of times for different positions at Universal.
We hear you fine.
Okay.
We hear you
well,
fine,
it's clicking on my end badly.
Click.
The marketing department.
Click.
Yeah, the marketing department from what was there, she said there were pictures of Disney stuff everywhere. What they had in the parks, what they were doing, what they were planning. There were postings of newspaper articles all over the place. Whereas I've seen Disney's marketing. I've talked to Disney's marketing. They don't care. They do their own thing, and they're doing it. Now, the Harry Potter park, there is rumors, I don't know if it's true or not, that the Harry Potter park in Universal was supposed to, that Disney was in talks with J.K. Rowling and Warner Brothers about doing a Harry Potter park in Disney. And then Universal came in, swept up the license, and that's why we got, what was the stuff that Disney did? Oh, that's why Disney bought Marvel. A lot of people, because they've got Marvel Islands at Universal Studios. And a lot of people were like, well, that's why Disney bought Marvel, because Universal stole Harry Potter from them. And I've had one person go, yep, that's exactly why. And I was like, for real? And I'm not saying who
Marvel.
or how high up the chain.
No, it definitely is. It definitely is because
yeah, the fact that their movies were doing gangbusters and they're one of the more popular companies currently had nothing to do with it.
Why? At that point they had 2 films out, 3 films. They had Iron Man.
They mostly look like a promising property.
Yeah, it was a promising property, but it was. I mean, think about the amount of money they dropped to buy Marvel.
Oh yeah,
they spent billions on Marvel and they spent billions on Star Wars. But what the thing is, they're still the Marvel Islands at Universal Studios. They're still under contract, and I have not been to Universal Studios in years. I haven't worked in the I didn't work in the studios in ages. I'm just curious whether or not the Disney logo is on any of the Marvel stuff in Universal Studios. Because now when you buy anything Marvel, it's got the Disney logo on it. Same with Star Wars. It has the Disney logo on all the merchandise and stuff like that. And if it's licensed Marvel merchandise now, it has to have that
you got to
Disney
wonder.
logo.
Yeah, you got to wonder if that's the case. Oh my God, what a humiliating defeat that is.
But there's a way. There's contracts involved and licensing and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and that's how you do
sure.
it right. That's how you do it right. Don't go out there and just try to take something for yourself. Which I really I wish this guy luck. I am not donating. I'm not throwing my money at a project that that has the look of Star Wars' version of Axanar. I'm not going to do it. I think too many people got burned on Axanar, where this dude is gonna. I don't know. It's a difficult thing.
Let me tell you about the ripples that came off of Axanar, because there's a lot of people that used to donate generously that now go, I'm not doing it for anybody. I'm done because look at what happened over there. So forget it. I'm not going to do that anymore. It's too much of a mess. And so again, that's another thing that hurt all the little fan projects. The fact that people are so gun shy to throw even $5 at something like this.
Now, I will say this.
Incredible.
I think Alec Peters deserved to be sued, but I'm surprised that they didn't either sue Renegades first or at the same time.
They Renegades had the ability had Tim Russ at the head, and I'm pretty sure Paramount went right to Tim Russ and said, "Dude, you got like no options here." I mean, he's one of theirs. He's a Star Trek guy, and I'm pretty sure they were like, "Yep, you got 2 choices."
Well, but I'm surprised they let it get as far as it did before it
That's
dropped
true.
The Star Trek.
They did the first whole episode, and then I mean, there's the argument. Well, Continues is still doing their stuff. Well, they are fulfilling a promise to their backers to finish up what they started.
Continues is also a non-profit and may possibly be legally obligated to finish.
Yes. And they are on paper. They are was it 501c?
Yep.
Yes, they are a non-profit organization. There's no money being pocketed, and that kind of stuff. So, and it's a whole different world. And if you follow the Axanar story, you've seen any of it. If you're that kind of geeky person and you follow it, I'm sure you've seen that there's bad blood all those. I mean, anybody who's making a fan film.
Let me tell you.
Cue Taylor Swift.
Let me tell you. Oh my God.
The original plan for Renegades that it was supposed to be like a pilot? They were actually trying to get CBS to put it on the air.
They were trying.
It was a series pitch.
Yeah, it was a series pitch.
See, I think they would have been better off approaching Michael. I think Russ would have been better off approaching Michael Dorn about Captain Worf.
Possible.
Agreed.
In fact, I have a feeling if he had done Captain Worf, it'd probably be on the air.
Now, I don't know. Renegades. I know I had a street.
Get that, but
a lot of what I've seen out of Renegades actually seems very Star Warsy to me.
Yeah, it was more Star Wars, not so Star Trek. And so it just didn't feel like a good fit. Too far afield. Way too far afield.
As a makeup guy, the makeup in the first Renegades drove me nuts. Drove me insane. Visually, the exterior shots and all that were gorgeous, but it's like once you got into it, and even the sets were well done. But I was like, I throw a little more money at the special effects. If you're gonna have that many creatures on screen, and you're gonna have an alien that's supposed to be reptilian, you gotta at least make the scales go all over the face and not just where the sculptures are.
Right?
I mean, it was just like, oh, look, you can see the exact spot where that prosthetic ends and the guy's skin begins.
They didn't learn the lesson that DS9 tried to teach them with Jadzia.
Oh.
They
spots go all the way down.
Yeah, those spots are painted head to toe.
Now,
I thought you were going to go with Don't Kill Her.
Well, what was it?
There's that too, yeah.
What is it? The Next Generation in HD. If you've watched any of the Next Generation in HD, the first 2 seasons, I can't watch it because Worf's makeup is so visibly makeup.
It's pretty bad.
Well, I mean, the first 2 seasons are really hard to watch anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, because what they were doing was scraping the bottom of the TOS barrel, or actually not the TOS barrel, but the Phase 2 barrel, recycling old Phase 2 scripts.
Now, I will say Conspiracy is a really good episode.
Too bad they never went anywhere with it.
It's because it was considered too violent.
Well, they did blow a dude in half.
Yeah, I mean, they blew his head off, and then they carved him open with a phaser till his little alien babies fell out. I mean, yikes!
That was nightmare-inducing.
Yeah, although I remember watching that for the first time and going, "Wow, cool!"
Yeah.
No, I was real young, so I found it scary as hell.
I was let's see, it was 87, so I was 14. Yeah, I was going, cool.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Now, STO did do something with that storyline, but it's honestly not very satisfying.
Like bad pizza.
Yeah,
is it STO where they're like the opposites of the Trill symbiotes or something?
No.
Speaking of which, I'm going to go grab a slice. I'll be right back.
That was the novels where they're like the anti-Trills, and Trills can't be infected by them and stuff like that.
As we mentioned before, novels don't count.
Yeah, no, they're basically tools of the Iconians for infiltrating species and causing mayhem.
Speaking of which, Stowe's apparently doing something else.
What's Stowe doing?
Well, they're doing a kind of a joint thing with. Give me a second here.
The Sally
Shield of
Ride.
Tomorrow. Yeah, the USS Sally Ride, which is doing a Star Trek Adventures. Well, that's the name of their adventure. and it's on Geek and Sundry.
There's the
Nerdist / Geek and Sundry. So one of the things they'll be doing is that they're teaming up with those guys, and you can win Stowe prizes just by watching them. Get the Temporal School Agent Starter Pack every other week, which is actually not a bad thing to get.
Boy.
And apparently other stuff as well.
Pizza from Walmart.
Now, looking at that, I'm thinking to myself, why hasn't Fantasy Flight hooked us up yet?
Why? Because we keep advertising Edge of the Empire?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm not asking for free stuff. That'd be nice, but...
Yes, you are.
Shut up, you!
Give me some swag!
No, I'm just saying, it's like, they're doing a kind of cool thing. And not us. Well, I can pretty much guess that the reason for that is because we're not the, Nerdist, Geek, and Sundry.
We don't use clickbait Jessica Chobot to get views.
Maybe we should.
Clickbait. Well, once we get our website up and running,
Hmm?
that's a whole different story.
Where? I want cake now.
I want pie.
We'll use Tade bait to get our clicks.
Oh, anyway, maybe
I ate
change
half a
that.
pie last night.
Strawberry
Anyway,
cheesecake.
speaking of moving along from cake,
Yes.
To pie.
when I go to Gen Con, I could have asked them, it's like, hey, we've been doing a live stream of this and show the greatest dice rolls ever. Like, we've been doing, live streaming this, we're not asking for anything, just maybe you could put a shout out. That would be good.
You have to definitely tell them about the ship resurrection.
Oh yeah, that's the dice roll I'm talking about.
Yes.
The only thing I'm worried about is they're going to get mad because we're basically playing an unlicensed version of the game.
We're not. We're playing a fully licensed version of the game.
Yes.
Tank's got all the stuff.
He's got all the
And what he
stuff.
doesn't
I'm
have,
slowly
Roland has.
building up on. Yeah, I'm
I've
slowly
got the core
building up
books,
on
trust
that.
me.
The only thing we're doing
covered.
is using a third-party site as a
i.e.
medium to
Tabletop
play.
Simulator. Yeah, it's
No
not an
different than
unlicensed
using
at all.
Roll20.
It is not unlicensed at all, considering it's Fantasy Flight putting it out. We're using their system. We're using their books. The only thing we're not using would be their table, which would be very impressive to do. I'm not sure how you do that.
Cameras. And you running around moving stuff.
I'd be tired after a while. Did that with this past Saturday playing an X-Wing campaign that I had built. And while I didn't play the game, I was doing a lot of walking around, and by the end of the night, I was like, I'm done. My feet are wanting to mutiny.
Well, we could always get you one of those sticks like you see the generals in the movies using to move the pretend troops on the battle board.
Why would I do that? I'm not the one playing. I'm just guiding the players. They're the ones doing all the moving. But I had 2 tables to walk back and forth to. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool that the fact that Star Trek Online is hooking up with these guys. Although, to be fair, I kind of saw that coming. I mean, I helped play on the beta version for the USS Venture for Star Trek Adventures. And I'm looking through this stuff and it's like, USS Venture, USS Bellerophon. And the other one that I can't think of off the top of my head, I think it was an Akira class. Thunderchild. Like, and those all have some major things in Star Trek Online. Coincidence? I think not.
Well, they also have the Lexington.
So talk of the betas. They had 3 beta campaigns that they put out, and Venture was the first one. I think Bellerophon was the second one, and then the Thunderchild was
is
the
the
last one.
conflict. And then I'm looking on Modifus.
Yes.
And they have the Lexington, which is going to be a tie-in to the 24th century missions.
Well, point being is that, I'm sitting there telling them, oh yeah, and the USS Venture didn't make it. It went over to the fluidic space and died, and everybody at the table's looking at me like, how do you know this? I'm like, Star Trek Online. So I talked with Al who ran the game. I was like, I kind of wonder if they've been talking to each other. And she's like, oh, there's no way they could possibly do this. Like, CBS owns the property on both of them. I'm pretty confident that there's some talking between the two of them. Now, granted, the Nerdist and Geek and Sundry is not really part of that, and there went a motorcycle. Or just a very quiet Wookiee. But, in point being, though, is that the fact that they're still letting them, kind of join together to do this. I think there's coincidence there. Beyond that,
Well, everything's connected. I mean, how many degrees of Kevin Bacon?
11. Actually, no, 10 degrees, I think, is what the running gag is.
I think Adam's at 4.
Adam's at 3. To Kevin Bacon himself. Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Kevin Bacon.
Monster.
I worked as an extra on Desperate Measures, which starred Michael Keaton, and actually was working with Michael Keaton that day, so technically, so yes. And then Michael Keaton worked with Jack Nicholson worked with Kevin Bacon, 3 of them. That also puts me 3 away from Boris Karloff, too.
I got to share screen time with Susan Sarandon. Does that count for something?
No.
Sure, why not?
Because I said
I almost got run over by Michelle Pfeiffer.
So, let's see. I guess in my case, my degrees to Kevin Bacon is 2 by Nicolas Cage.
I'm nowhere even close. I'm not even on the list, man. I'm so far away. Live in farmland. That's what happens.
Just on the same planet. That's about it.
Yeah, that's as clear as I get.
I'm going to have to tell you that story of how I actually ran into Nicolas Cage once, Adam.
Nicolas Cage is a nerd!
If I get to tell you how I ran into Patrick Stewart.
Ooh.
Literally.
I stepped on Mike Wallace's foot.
Ooh, nice.
Well, not so nice.
I will just say that Patrick Stewart's a lot taller than I thought he was.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And he's a pretty stout dude because he knocked me down. I turned the corner and, yeah, I can tell you right now, it's real easy.
Ooh, thanks to Mike Wallace has a Bacon number of 2. Mike Wallace was in a face in the crowd with Walter Matthau, who was in JFK with Kevin Bacon. So I've got a Bacon number of 3.
Same set. I got to share a buffet with Jeff Niels. So, bleh.
Yeah, look, my jealousy is going to overwhelm me. So moving along.
Go ahead.
Since we were talking about the Star Trek adventures, you can purchase the PDF now from either Drive-Thru RPG or from Modiphius. It's like $16. From Modiphius, you can actually get the starter bundles and all that. And last I saw, their board collector's set was like, oh geez, how many have they sold now? It's like over 200 of them had been sold. In fact, let me just quickly double check.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's also come down slightly in price. Not by much. I mean, it's still over $500 for the Borg Collector's Cube. They have sold 288 of them. They still have a month and 5 days to go.
Ooh, well, there's other news.
That's actually $148,000 generated. I mean, if you really think about that, that's like pretty damn good sales for pre-orders.
Sneeze at.
Of it online through their website. I think Roland. No, it wasn't Roland. I think it was Trekkie who mentioned it to me. That's been mentioned on the Reddit. That a lot of people just keep getting in this loop where it actually won't purchase it. Which is what I ran into. I tried to buy the bundle and I went to PayPal, plugged in the information, took me back to the site to go back to my billing. And I'm like, what the hell? So they need to kind of fix that. I want to give you money.
Actually, you know what? I had that issue too with PayPal. On eBay.
Really?
It kept spitting me back, yes.
Oh, that's weird.
And I'm like, you better not keep charging my PayPal for that. It was only like $5, but...
Yeah, but
there was no charges, though, in my case.
No, there was no charges.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Yeah, there was no charges.
Yeah, they didn't even apply the charge. It just took me back to the website that took me back to billing. I'm like, why?
What
yeah, I had a problem with PayPal the other week where I tried sending a guy some money and I couldn't. And then I was able to send it to Tank just fine, so I don't know why it wasn't working.
Well,
because I know there wasn't
overseas.
an issue with my bank.
It might be an overseas thing because Modifius, I think, is parked over in the UK. Their main, what they were charging me was in British pounds.
Yeah, but Riv is in Canada.
And they go by Canadian money.
Yeah, but I've never had any issues sending any money to him before.
Speaking of the British,
I sent it to him fine, so I don't know what the problem is either.
When are we going to do a review on Dunkirk?
I have to see it first. I saw Valerian.
I saw it today. I saw Valerian last week, and I saw Dunkirk today.
I am behind on my last two summer films. I'm sorry.
I'm behind a lot because I'm poor.
Okay, well, how about this? At least in the case of Valerian, we keep it very general. We won't spoil anything. Because it needs to be discussed a little bit, but once you guys actually see it, we can really dig into it. My personal opinion,
Valerian isn't really that great.
It's a good film. I'm not going to say it's a great film. It's a good film. Visually stunning. You agree with that, Jim? I think he's suddenly passed out from remembering all the visuals. Nope, he ran away.
Jim done lost.
He collapsed. Well, anyway, it's a visually stunning film.
Yes.
Great cornucopia for the eyes. I don't know. I think it seems like it's a Luke Besson thing because I saw it with Lucy and I saw it with Fifth Element, but their delivery of their lines is kind of wooden. It's like he follows the George Lucas school of acting.
Take the worst cut you can find.
Something, because I mean, it was a very, like I said, very wooden dialogue. It was very unemotional. Oh, there's Jim.
What happened to you?
Still not talking. This isn't a good sign.
I don't think he knows what happens to him. Oh no, he's been assimilated.
He's gonna drop again.
Yep.
We're losing him.
It's the revolving, the Geek Easy.
He's dead, Jim.
He's dead, Jim.
No, Jim's dead.
Jim's dead. Long live Jim.
Oh, he'll be
Yep,
back.
there he went. Anyway.
It's worse than Jim. He's Jim dead.
He's Jim dead. Well, anyway, I think it's worth watching because one thing, it's a unique sci-fi film that we need to actually pay into to get more of those such things.
Yeah.
I would say that the female protagonist had the best presence in the film, at least between the two of them. The guy, I was like, why is he even here? He was just.
A lot of people are saying he's just not he doesn't have the gravitas to pull off the lead role.
He does not. Then again, like I said, it was very wooden dialogue and delivery for all of them. They're just, it's like they were kept and stripped down and just clamped down on, and so they couldn't really do much. And in his case, he just doesn't have the chops anyway to pull off the role that he was doing there. Like there's a scene where he's trying to be this emotional connection, and you feel nothing. Also, the love subplot and like meh, you really don't need it. You could have done without it. So, still worth watching on the big screen, just because there's so much going on visually that you're not going to get the same effect on either a computer monitor or big screen TV at home.
Well, what always caught me, I always thought was hilarious, because even when it was a book, and I mean, I had known about the graphic novels and that kind of stuff. The name valerian. Valerian is a herb that they make medicine from to cure insomnia. That's a bet. It's like, do not name. It's like, hey, our film will cure insomnia. You will snooze. Jim having issues. Jim, just restart your computer.
Motorcycle is taking out his internet.
Something.
Vroom vroom.
No, it's just U.S. internet. We suck.
Yep. Why can't we have what South Korea and
North
Japan
Korea
has? Could I have North Korea?
Let's see. Well, I want to see if we gotta wait for. We got 2 people out the room. Door just keeps revolving. I wanted to go on to like some of the Marvel news and stuff that was going on with their films. Did we talk Justice League last week? Had that drop? Oh, Saturday. Had the trailer and stuff drop for Justice League yet?
No.
Okay. We've all seen that, right?
No.
Oh, that's right. You don't watch trailers.
Well, not generally. I mean, unless it's at the beginning of the film.
And there's been some Star Wars images that have been released, and new looks at some of the new designs on Stormtroopers and stuff like that.
Did release the new Thor trailer, and I did see that.
That looks insane.
He could talk.
They're going to have to spend a bunch of money editing Henry Cavill's mustache out of the Justice League reshoots.
Yes. And there's a reason for it. The guy who's directing...
Paramount won't let him shave his mustache for Mission Impossible.
Well, they're saying because they're saying the job he has to do on Mission Impossible right now, the amount of stunt work and sweating he will do, they'd have to staple the mustache to his face.
Oh, jeez. The Jim's trying to speak.
But shouldn't Paramount
really
then just have
skitsy.
to digitally add the mustache in?
Either way, they're gonna have to either Justice League is gonna have to digitally edit it out, or they'd have to add it back in. I mean, it's not the first time it's happened. Won't be the last. Did you know that the shawarma scene in the original Avengers, the reason you don't see you don't see Captain America eating, is because the whole lower half of his face is a prosthetic? Covering the beard he had grown for another film.
Oh, did not know that.
Isn't that for a Snowpiercer?
I do believe so.
And sudden guest Badger is present.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Oh, I'm on air. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I apologize.
Revolving door. The Geekies has a revolving door. Come on in.
It's too late. You are now one of us.
I came from the wrong channel. I apologize.
One of us.
I just saw a group of people in a channel. I was like, oh, hey, I'm
It's
gonna
all
jump
good.
in.
Hey, we talk geek. Talk some geek. Yes, but it was Snowpiercer, I do believe.
Yeah.
And he had grown the beard for it, and they had to go back and reshoot that scene because it was one of those, oh, we got to do something, so they did it. But he had a beard, so they covered his beard with a prosthetic.
Well, none of the scene with them all fighting back to back was not shot like that at all.
Yeah.
They changed their mind later on how they wanted it to look and completely cut it up and redid it so that they're all back to back.
I think some of the better, where it's like options of that one, because I know they have to digitally remove Cavill's mustache now from the reshoots, because he can't shave it because Paramount, contractually, he's not allowed to. Whatever. But did you know, I do believe it was it Insurrection? No, it wasn't Insurrection. I think it was Generation. Patrick Stewart had to wear a bald cap for the reshoots for that. Yes.
Wait, what?
Patrick Stewart had grown his hair for the Ebenezer Scrooge role he does on Broadway when he does the one-man show of what is it, Christmas Carol? And they were doing reshoots. They were doing the reshoots for, I can't remember which one of the 3 films, whether it was Generations, First Contact, or Insurrection. I think maybe it was Insurrection. He had to go back and do reshoots, but he had long hair. So they had to put a bald cap and then flock the hair onto the back of his head so it matched the rest of his shots.
If DC was smart, they would just put Cable in skin-colored grease paint and call it an homage to Cesar Romero.
Well, I'm wondering if the reshoots are extensive enough. They said they're going to give Joss Whedon credit. He'll get co-director on it, which is not unheard of. But I mean,
does Whedon have enough of an ego to purposely make the reshoots that extensive?
No. Whedon is a man. I truly believe that Whedon is a man that goes for the art side of it, not for the credit side of it. He wants to make the best product possible. So I don't think his ego would do it. But for rules, union rules and stuff, if he works so much on a film, he has to have it. That's the way things work in Hollywood. Like that. Like the the unions in Hollywood and IATSE and all those and the directors union and the producers guild and that, they don't mess around when it comes to screen credits and that kind of stuff and payment, and it's really they keep a close eye on that kind of thing. There's some film being shot in North Carolina right now that was the entire crew walked off the set because they joined IATSE. They joined the union, and they felt that they were not being paid, treated fairly, blah, blah, blah. They joined the union and walked off the set, and the dude's film just folded up. And, yeah, it's...
What film is this?
I can't remember what it was about. I just read the actual article on the working conditions that these students, they were mostly students working on the film, and they were being treated, the hours were horrific, they were being paid less than scale, I mean, all this kind of stuff. And they were like, yeah, this ain't right. So they went to IATSE, which is the union for film crews and stuff like that, and they were like, just walk off. And they did. All 43 of them. Something like that, 43, 44 of them.
Good grief. That's disastrous.
Yeah, it shut his production down. And the dude was flipping out because it was a crowd-funded film and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know. I have never been on a set where everybody walked off. I've been on sets where people have walked off. But I've been on sets where people have been fired. Where they were canned right there in front of everybody. It's like, you're done. You're out.
It is a job.
It is, yeah.
It's happened.
Don't mess around.
Contract.
But, yeah, so... There's that. Jim, are you back now? Are you good?
Yeah, looks like I'm back. I don't know what was going on. All of a sudden, the connection went skitsy, and everyone sounded like they were from the planet Cylon. So
we were all Soundwave from the Transformers.
Soundwave superior.
By your command. So, back to the Marvel and the stuff that was released during San Diego Comic-Con.
Well, before we get back to that,
yes.
How about we should probably just get Jim's opinion on Valerian, just
yes.
speaking.
Real quick. Did you see it, Jim? You did see it, right?
I did see it. I thought the 2 leads were too young for the roles. I thought the first 20 minutes were great, and after that, I reserve judgment.
Ooh.
You're a little harsher than I am. Though, I mean, all I said is that it was a good film. It should be watched on the big screen, and visual cornucopia.
Yep.
But the 2 protagonists, I mean, and I was mentioning that to them earlier, that it feels like Luke Besson just has this clamp down on them. They can't deliver emotion, personality. They're not allowed to. It's like you don't have no emotional connection with them. It's very wooden.
Just let it out.
Well, I just think it's interesting because Delvingian is a DC comic book movie person, and Dahan wasn't he?
Yes,
Green
he was the
Goblin?
Green Goblin.
And that's all that people seem to remember.
And you know what's really
they
sad
blank
though?
it out.
He had no screen presence in that film either.
And he really doesn't.
None. It's like he is literally a face in the crowd.
He was like a standee. It was just there was no there ever.
Delvingian's one of the high points of Suicide Squad. Not that that's saying a whole lot.
That's who she is. Okay, I was trying to figure out where I've seen her. It's like, oh, she's in Trenches.
Yeah, well, but the thing is that, like I said, it just seems to be this. Everybody's all this clamped down wooden dialogue. I mean, Fifth Element had the same thing, as did Lucy. Actors and actresses who can give some good emotional range.
Did anyone say Big Bada Boom?
No.
Oh. No.
Big
Maybe
Bada
it's a
Boom.
French thing.
I don't know. Maybe it is, but the thing is, there were
I don't know much about French cinema.
Yeah, but there were so many opportunities that were just blown.
I have seen some incredible French films, so
They could
I
have done something better with that love story, or just kept it out entirely. It wasn't needed, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I heard that like a lot of the most interesting stuff was either barely touched on or in the background and never explored at all.
Yep, that was part of the problem, and the thing is, the love story we could have done without it. It felt so tacked on that it just didn't do it for me at all. It was annoying, and they just kept poking at it without ever doing anything real with it, and so I could have done without it, and the film would have sailed along. It was just like Ruby Rod in The Fifth Element. I could have done without his character entirely.
But the difference there is
would have been
that
so much better.
The difference, though, is that because Chris Tucker is so over the top anyway, he's the only one in that film that brought any emotion to it. Even Gary Oldman was.
He's the only one quoted.
I mean, like, even Gary Oldman, though, is very subdued, strained.
You know, Gary Oldman's problem in that film is he was the exact same character he was in Lost in Space.
Yep.
That's actually, I agree with that.
The exact same character.
Okay,
no
now
difference
speaking of Lost in Space, who ruined that film for you?
That stupid CG monkey.
Okay, beyond the monkey.
Joey Tribbiani didn't ruin it for you?
No,
he was the Highlander.
Not at all.
I was joking.
No.
The kid?
No, hurt the film. He was just
John Hurt.
He was just awful.
You know what? I think the kid's acting. It was almost as bad as Anakin Skywalker. What's his name? Jake Lloyd. It was so obvious the kid was being coached from off screen.
Both Anakins.
Yeah. Well, you know what? No. I will defend Hayden Christensen till my last breath. Hayden Christensen is a good actor with a bad director directing him.
I hate sand.
Okay, I'll give you that.
He
wasn't too bad in was it Jumper?
Yes, and his new one that's coming out.
Jumper.
Yeah, he was all right.
Coming out.
Oh, okay, I just came back, and who the hell let Badger in here?
He let himself in.
He let himself in. He walked in. Door was
by
open.
accident.
You left the door open, Alice.
I didn't see what channel I was going into, and I just jumped in. I was like,
he was trying to follow
you didn't see the fact that it said the Geek Easy Studio on air.
No, I didn't. I'm a little retarded. Sorry.
The red light was on, man. Come on.
Beep, side note.
Beep.
What?
What's that beep out? As a side note, Valerian, it had opened this weekend, and at least domestically, it made $21 million.
Ouch.
Not so hot.
Wow.
No.
Now, maybe the foreign side of things will recover it, because it has a $177 million budget. Not counting their advertising, which they advertised.
Really? Only 177?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was 277 million.
That's pretty impressive for a film that's visually that insane.
Well, visually, like I said, it's just fantastic, and you should go watch it just because we need more of those, unique alternate sci-fi films that we just don't get much of.
Well, the MacGuffin aliens were too Avatar for me. They were beautifully rendered. They were amazing, but they were too Avatar for me.
Yeah, I didn't watch Avatar, so it has no effect on me.
We can say we got 40 minutes or so left. Tank, you just nailed on something that I wanted to talk about. I wasn't sure how to go into it, but you hit it. We don't see enough of stuff like that. And I think Hollywood's big issue right now is everybody's jumping on the franchise wagon or the reboot wagon. And I just read John Wick is now getting a movie franchise. I'm like, why?
John Wick.
Okay,
Exactly.
John Wick, but that's just it.
Yes.
John Wick is fine. John Wick as a character, Keanu Reeves playing him.
Think about it. Just think about the first one, because I haven't seen the second one yet. Just think about it. That entire universe, that entire underworld, is entirely ripe for a bunch of stories.
It is. It is entirely ripe for a bunch of stories. But they're doing the King Kong, Godzilla universe. We've got Marvel, we got DC, we got the Universal Monsters, which kind of already derailed itself with the Mummy. There was Valerian was supposed to be a jump off for a bunch of other films. It was like we've got Star Wars, but Star Wars is an ongoing saga.
I know, but when things like Valerian happen, it makes Hollywood afraid to try different things, I think.
Well, now, one of the reviews I read about Valerian said that the one thing that Valerian did that modern sci-fi doesn't do is it's not afraid to be goofy.
Oh, it was goofy,
times.
but
almost like, I guess, the 80s Flash Gordon.
well, you got to keep in mind that was an indie film, and look at the budget they had. Holy cow!
The big problem with the 80s Flash Gordon is simply that most people missed the point. It was supposed to be tacky and chintzy.
I love that film.
I wanted.
Oh, it's awesome.
I wanted to tell the lead in Valerian, "Hey, Keanu called. He wants his acting style back." You know, it was just horrible.
Hey, Keanu can actually act.
Keanu can act.
Yes, he can.
Yeah,
he just can't do a British accent.
No, that's for sure.
Did you guys see the picture where Keanu stole a camera from the paparazzi and ran away with it?
He's like, yoink!
He stole a camera and just ran away.
He is so down to earth. When you see him in
I
interviews
just think
and
it's
stuff,
hilarious. He still rides the New York subway like a
Yes.
normal person.
What do you mean, a normal person?
There are
Actually,
normal
Wolfie,
people on the
have
subway.
have you been to New York City?
Apparently
Yes.
those
Okay, I lived in New
pictures
York
are
City,
fake.
and I lived in New York City. It's like growing up, teenage years out of New York City, back after college. New York City, it really is the city where you could walk down the street in a scuba outfit, full flippers and mask, helmet, and tank. No one will bat an eye or even look at you. It
Don't
really
question it.
is that way. They will. I mean, it's just an everyday thing for them. But dude, I was telling you, what was it? When I was working on the film in New York. That one film, the chick came down high on something, butt naked, running around the street. No one was gonna do anything. They just let her run around naked in the street, screaming something was on her. It wasn't until a couple of people was like, okay, throw a blanket over her because she's starting to get the cops here or something. But everybody else, I mean, thousands of people walking by, no one said a word. No one even looked. I was on the subway. What's the guy's name? He played the mayor in Gotham. Trying to think of what.
New Gotham?
The New Gotham. Who the actor's name? He was on Spin City with Michael J. Fox. He was on the subway with me one day. And I was just like, no one better than I. And what's really funny is he was reciting lines because he was going uptown to go to the studios to shoot the sitcom with Michael J. Fox. And he's doing lines. You can see him reciting his lines and stuff to him. And again, it looked like he was talking to himself. Everyday occurrence in New York. No one batted an eye. And it was like shooting and when like walking down Greenwich Village. Gwyneth Paltrow will be walking down the street and all this. No one looks. It's there every day.
You're talking about
Ben
McKenzie?
No, Brad in Rock Horror. Son of a gun.
No, not him. Not him.
Not him.
No, he was the voice of one of the crickets in A Bug's Life. I know that. He kind of a doofy looking guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's larger guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Kind of looks like a cartoon character. But I mean, it's in New York. It's a different thing. It's like people get on the subway every day, and you really, because it is, everyone keeps to themselves. Half the time, people don't even notice. Unlike say in Cleveland when they were shooting Captain America, everybody and their mother was out there trying to watch. They had it cordoned off. I think 1,000 yards to keep people back. Whereas I have been in New York City when they're shooting TV shows and stuff, where you can like walk right. That's it. You could walk right up to the set, and it was just like no one batted an eye.
Because you're a free extra then.
Yeah, you are basically a free extra. When they were shooting Sex in the City right down the street from where I worked, and they didn't even block it off. They shot in the crowds. It was all guerrilla warfare stuff, guerrilla filmmaking. They just had handheld cameras and walked around.
Well, there's always the Midnight Cowboy incident where supposedly a cabbie just drove through.
Yes. That happens all the
Hey,
time.
I'm walking here. That was all an ad lib.
They that kind of stuff happens a lot. You
I
don't
don't
realize
think it counts
because
as an ad lib if you're just really that angry and you just yell it.
guerrilla filmmaking, especially on the subways, happens a lot. Because to get the permits to shoot on the subways and stuff like that, it's just a pain in the butt because they got to actually set up times when you could do it. Then you got to hire the extras and all that. A lot of times they'll just go in there and just shoot.
So you mean that whole scene in Spider-Man 2 was... No, never mind.
But yeah, Richard, yeah, he was the one. He was just sitting there reciting his lines, hanging from one of the straps. Just looked like a crazy guy talking to himself. It was all good. I used to loved it because, I mean, yeah, the whole Gwyneth Paltrow thing, and I was like walking down the street, and Gwyneth Paltrow was walking right by me. I was like, huh, she must live around here. She must. And sure enough, she did. She lived in that neighborhood. But it's like, what do you know? Yeah, I mean, Times Square is famous. That's where, I mean, like I said, I ran into Patrick Stewart in Times Square. Physically ran into the man.
Oh my god, this video of Keanu on the subway is hilarious because these people aren't even noticing that it's Keanu.
Mm-hmm. No one, I mean, you keep to yourself. You keep your eyes down and you just keep to yourself. You don't go out of your way to look around.
No, even he gets up and gives a woman his seat and there's no sign of recognition on her face at all.
Yeah, there are pictures of Neil deGrasse Tyson riding in the subway, and no one gives a rat about it.
And I looked it up. The pictures of him stealing the camera are fake. Well, not fake. They're actually from a movie he did like 7 years ago.
Side note, Alistair, you have to see John Wick 2.
I intend to.
Oh, you got to see John Wick 2.
Considering the character I write, I know I have to.
Hey, John, you working again?
Maybe. It was a good. It was. I don't know if it was as good as the first one, but it's good.
Yeah, it's at least pretty close to the same.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not equal, it's in the same venue area.
It falls under the same. It's like John Wick. The first film was very self-contained. It has the Star Wars aspect to it. A New Hope is a self-contained film. It could end with the celebration scene at the end, and that could be the last we ever saw Star Wars. And it would be that the movie is ended. John Wick had that same feel. The movie is over. It's like, okay, he's going to go this, and that's it. Movie's over. Whereas John Wick 2 has the Empire Strikes Back feeling to it. Whereas it's going to keep going, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. It has a very, it's an open-ended film like Empire Strikes Back and all the Marvel films. They're open-ended. They don't end. There's more to come. And now that they're talking about a universe involving that, it's like, yeah, okay, Alistair, you're right. There is a big, it's kind of like the Kingsman thing. They opened up a new world. Problem is, how much of that world do we really want to see?
Well, I thought Kingsman did a very good job for the second one just because it's a whole new setting.
Yeah, the last trailer I saw for Kingsman 2, yeah. I want that umbrella.
Hollywood has gotten pretty stale. I mean, they're rebooting at least 3 different films.
Well, there is a movie that is shaking things up, at least palette-wise.
What?
Thor!
True.
There is color in that movie.
Yes, there is.
It's like, we could talk about how, Batman v Superman was so, washed out and faded. Apparently Thor took all that color.
Yeah, and that's but did you notice
even when the color is supposed to be washed out and faded in that trailer, it's not.
Which is a good thing because whereas Marvel films have been more colorful than DC's, their color it's not color correction. their color palette and the way they set the look of their films. Iron Man didn't use it. The original Iron Man has a much richer. They've got inky blacks and stuff. It's a rich looking film. From there on out, even I think the up until Joss Whedon's Avengers, they all had a much broader color palette. The highs were good and the darks were dark, and then they started getting, what's the word I'm looking for? They weren't dull, but they were all evened out. Everything had the same hue to it, and with this one, it was like, you're right, it's a punch in the face of like, whoa, check that out. There's a lot going on visual color-wise. Whereas DC did the exact opposite. Superman was washed out and drawn out and kind of dull and dingy. And then Batman vs. Superman did the same thing. But looking at the Justice League trailer, there's a lot more color in that one, too. It's still dark, but there's more color.
There's also a lot more Aquaman doing awesome things.
Oh, yes. I was so afraid of him as Aquaman. Then I keep seeing this.
Man
I'm like,
dressed as a bat. Okay.
Seriously, from all the stuff that I've seen him in, especially Stargate Atlantis, I knew he'd make an amazing Aquaman.
Oh yeah.
Is it sad that I'm more excited for Aquaman than I am Justice League?
Justice League has me hyped. The trailer for that, and now the trailer that has been since yanked from the internet of Infinity War. If Infinity War is half as good as that trailer was,
it was leaked.
Oh, it was leaked.
So, are we just assuming that his Aquaman is just a continuation of his Baywatch character?
No, it's not.
It was a joke.
I'm glad it's not.
No, Ronan Dex finally got promoted at Atlantis.
I do wish he was blonde. I do wish they had stuck with the blonde. Same thing with Barry Allen.
I agree.
Why is Barry Allen not blonde?
From what I heard, they actually talked about it. And, what's his name? Jason Momoa didn't want to do it.
Okay. I mean, his hair's light enough. If he was out in the sun and he did the whole beach thing, it would lighten up. He wouldn't be exactly blonde, but he would be. I'm fine with it. He looks good in the role.
Yeah, and he'd have to do it to the beard too. So.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't look right being blonde, to be honest.
But to be fair, considering
he's not blonde in his hair as Aquaman, doesn't he?
Yeah, but
he has highlights.
Considering the universe they're creating, I can understand why they didn't go with, a plucky blonde Aquaman.
Yeah, true. Now, there is one thing that still cracks me up.
Okay.
Watching the original stuff they did for Justice League, I don't know how heavily. I can't remember the actor's name who's playing Flash.
Ezra Miller.
Thank you. I don't know how heavily he smokes, but he obviously smokes because he's got nicotine-stained teeth. And the scene where he catches the Batarang, and he smiles, and he's like, I need friends, and he's got that big cheesy smile on his face. His teeth are nicotine-stained. There's no denying that they're kind of yellow. I was like, so Flash smokes.
Supposedly
fastest man alive
smokes a lot of pot, or at least used to.
Well, either way, it's like, I hope they do something to brighten his teeth up a little bit. Somebody get in there digitally. I mean, screw his mustache. We need those teeth white. I just found that funny. I was like, yeah, because I mean, having grown up around smokers, it's like, yeah, nicotine-stained teeth. And I guess marijuana will stain your teeth too. Any kind of smoke will stain your teeth. Crack will make them fall out.
Meth will just dissolve everything.
That's true.
No, meth just gets your mouth ready for dentures.
Well, like I said, the meth will just dissolve everything.
But meth also makes people hunt arrowheads.
Okay.
No, this is a proven thing. In fact, national parks in areas with lots of Native American history have had a major problem with meth heads breaking in and digging for arrowheads and everything. And there's a big thing about they'll constantly find boxes of arrowheads in meth heads' closets and stuff.
What's wrong with meth heads?
What?
We lost Jim again.
Mm-hmm.
Twice.
That doesn't. The whole meth going after arrow. That doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
No, neither does doing meth, dude.
Sure. That's I don't even see in the connection because when they do drugs, there's always some reason to it, and I don't see the connection.
Breaking Bad, man. It all has to do with being in the desert and Breaking Bad.
Just click that link to Google Tank, and there's multiple articles and discussions about meth heads and arrows heads.
Breaking Bad should have done something else, like, I don't know, focus on getting Twinkies. That would have saved the Hostess company.
Kind of like the reintroduction of Szechuan sauce.
That needs to happen.
I have returned again.
I do believe that this is it's this week that McDonald's will be sending, not Dan Harmon, the other guy from Rick and Morty. He's getting a gallon of Szechuan sauce.
Jesus Christ.
Rub-a-lub-dub.
I love that show so much.
Oh, Pickle Rick!
It'll take more than that to kill Rick and Morty. Oh, that might do it. Run,
so
Morty!
Looking forward to that coming back.
It's gonna take 9 seasons.
Am I nuts with this whole universe thing being a bad idea for everybody, for Hollywood?
Yes, it's getting too clustered.
But the fact that everybody's doing their own...
interconnected
this.
There are some things that don't need universes that are getting it, and some things that do need universes that aren't.
And some things that already had a universe and wish that the others would go away.
What scares me is we're going to get into a funk like there was in the 70s, where everybody was doing the exact same thing and every movie sucked. That's why Star Wars was such a huge thing, because everything in this... I mean, try to watch a movie from the 1970s. They suck. They're either all...
there's the whole thing of Logan's Run looks like it was shot in the 60s.
Logan's Run looks like it was shot in somebody's basement.
But no, I mean, the color palette and everything looks like it's straight out of the 60s.
The film, it's so dated at this point, but the film itself is incredible. Logan's Run.
Oh, I love Logan's Run.
Yeah, Logan's Run as sci-fi is really
Logan's Run
good.
was 1976, and it
Yes.
looks like it's from the 60s.
Logan's Run was like the appetizer for Star Wars.
I can't argue with his statement, though. It does look like it came from the 60s.
It really does. It has that look and feel.
They kept it
and
cheap.
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of the everything was in-house back then. All the studios had their own prop builders, set builders, effects people, all of it. It was all kept in-house, and there were a bunch of old guys working on this stuff that had been working on films from the 50s, where they were ingrained in the studios. And it wasn't until ILM came along, blew the doors off of it, and said, you know what, we're going to take it out of house, and we're going to do our own thing, and we're going to make things look real. So a lot of that has to do with that, I think. Like if you go, what was it, Earthquake, and all the Charlton Heston destruction films, and all of them, Towering Inferno, and everything in the 70s just sucked. And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen. They're going to stagnate again like they did in the 70s, because everybody was doing those destructive films. Earthquake, Towering Inferno.
But I mean, part of the reason that I bring up Logan's Run is 76. Star Wars is 77.
Yes.
And it's like they're not a year apart, but decades apart.
Light years apart.
Light years.
Well, think about it this way. I mean, trying to think of films that came out within... When did Flash Gordon come out? Was that 80?
Yeah, Flash is 80s. I can't remember what year.
Okay, was it either 79 or 80 or 81? Empire Strikes Back had already come out. And then we go, it's like you have the visual spectacle that is everything that ILM was doing and all the other films they were working on, Poltergeist and all these other films. And then you had Flash Gordon come out, which was a throwback to the horrible special effects of a decade before that. And again, I know it was supposed to be done tongue-in-cheek. It was cheesy on purpose. It's an incredible film. It really is. It's one of those, you just sit there and watch it and you go, oh my God, it's so bad, it's good.
Now, I will say when they're fighting on the tilting column thing, the rubber spikes, that takes me out of it a little bit.
As a kid, that scared the hell out of me. When that dude's head hit those spikes and his eyeballs ooze out of his head, yeah.
But no, I'm saying you can see Dalton's foot bending the spikes over and everything.
Yeah. You can see, what was it? They did the same, I mean, back in 66 when Batman was in one of those closing walls and the spikes were bending on the walls too.
Yeah, that's TV budget.
That's true.
No, I love Flash Gordon, don't get me wrong, but for some reason I just lose it a little bit with the rubber spikes. I don't know why.
Well, think of, okay, movies that should have gone somewhere and that really, like, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Cats versus dogs.
John Carter.
Get
should
out.
have been a multi-film epic in like Dune or Star Wars or something like that. It should have been huge. But it didn't. It was like, and it got horribly marketed, and people panned it, even though it's really...
The problem is that the Barsoom stuff just isn't really known or read all that much
No,
today.
but I mean, it's such a rich story that could have been all over the place, and instead we get, okay, we're just going to rehash Predator, or we're going to rehash Nightmare on Elm Street. What are they doing? Like the third time they're going to try Nightmare on Elm Street, or Friday the 13th they're doing again, and... what was the other one that I just saw they're remaking? I'm like, why are you remaking Blade Runner? Did we need another Blade Runner movie?
It actually looks pretty good.
It's not
a
remake, it's a sequel.
Yeah, it's a sequel, but it does look good. But I'm just asking, it's like...
I think that's a rich enough world that we definitely need more.
Okay, well, here's one that just needs to die. Aliens.
Yes.
Ridley Scott, I'm pretty sure, effectively put the last nail in that coffin, hopefully. Because it was like, Prometheus sucked from top to bottom. It was just an film. I didn't even see the last one, but everybody who's seen it has told me that it's not worth watching. And it really is just a bad movie. And I find it really funny that the man who started the Alien franchise killed it. But it was like, okay, Aliens needs to die. Predator. Do we really need another Predator movie?
No.
Okay. It's like, where's all the... Why are there no... the original ideas?
You know what I think we do need? And maybe you disagree. A Dune.
I think...
Redo it.
A good version of Dune.
Yes.
Somewhere in between the TV show... we definitely need something better than the original film.
Yes, definitely.
Did you see the documentary about that? What they were...
Yes.
That's actually... That would have been an impressive film, I think.
Yes, it would have been.
Side note, Prometheus is actually supposed to be its own thing. It just takes place in the same universe, so it's not actually part of Aliens.
Still suck.
It made back its money.
It did make back its money.
And Blade Runner is already sort of a universe in that Soldier takes place in the Blade Runner universe.
I wouldn't have noticed that.
How many films does Harrison Ford have to do?
If you read the list of battles for Kurt
Tannhauser
Russell's character, and Aliens is related to Blade Runner. Something about the corporations or something.
Yes. Whatever that is.
Weyland-Yutani,
yes. It's like Die Hard. I'm glad they finally stopped making those.
Don't say that.
Oh, that last one was horrific, dude.
Oh, Covenant was
the one with his son?
One.
Yes. That was just so hard to watch.
It had action, and that was about it.
Yeah, it was at least, I mean, but it wasn't even fun.
I don't know why anyone wants to even work with Bruce Willis anymore anyway, because from everything I hear and everything I've read, he is the most difficult person to be around.
Well, the last one, it's like he didn't want to be there himself.
He hasn't done anything recently.
He's done a lot of straight-to-video films. He's got that one coming out with Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, that's an endorsement.
Why are Sony so hard on this kid?
Well, let's see. Well, don't forget that there's a new Jackie Chan film coming out.
That does look good.
Actually, I was talking about the Nut Job too.
He's rumored to be in Die Hard Year One.
They're doing a Die Hard Year One?
What?
It's been announced, apparently.
What?
Oh my god.
Told you spoke too soon.
I spoke too soon.
God, he's Paul Kersey in Death Wish.
Who is?
Bruce Willis.
Really?
Why?
Why remake Death Wish?
Didn't Kevin Bacon basically already remake Death Wish anyways?
Did he?
Did he?
There's a Kevin Bacon movie that is essentially Death Wish.
Really?
Everyone's going.
I'm waiting.
What?
Okay, wait. They're gonna redo Death Wish. Are they gonna redo Dirty Harry too? What are they gonna get Jim Carrey to play him?
It's gonna be Clean Harry.
Oh dear lord.
He got clean.
Dirty Harry Jr. They'll get Clint Eastwood's son to do it.
No, they'll just get Jeff Bridges to redo it.
Ugh.
No, they'll get Clint Eastwood and they'll just digitally make him younger.
And then that's like the Tron film. I really had high hopes for the Tron sequel, and that fell apart.
I enjoyed it.
liked
but
it.
Yeah,
I did.
let me put the Kevin Bacon movie that is essentially Death Wish is Death Sentence. I mean, they even left death in the title.
Never heard of it.
Nope.
The description on IMDb is Nick Hume is a mild-mannered executive with a perfect life until one gruesome night he witnesses something that changes him forever. Transformed by grief, Hume eventually comes to the disturbing conclusion that no length is too great when protecting his family.
You know what happens when there's an original or something awesome that comes out that's out of the norm from Hollywood? You get movies like The Revenant.
Yep.
And it's just like, whoa. And you get movies like Dunkirk.
Oh, Dunkirk. I do want to watch that.
I have to go see that film. My wife
Are
wants to
they
go see that
playing it
film.
in 70mm near you?
No, I wish they were.
Side note.
Supposedly that's the only way to see it.
No, whatever. Side note. Ridley Scott's already confirmed there's going to be another sequel.
What, to Alien?
Yep, to Covenant.
Yeah, well,
Because
he's got 20th Century Fox to answer to that one. They're already saying no. They lost a lot of money on Covenant.
Not really. The budget was only 97 million. They made 232.
Yes, but you're talking Hollywood accounting here. Hollywood accounting will say
and
that's a loss.
Right. There's an Unbreakable sequel coming up, isn't there?
Oh, M. Night Shyamalan.
Because he came back as the guy from Unbreakable at the end of
Yes.
Split.
Yeah, he did. That was a nice twist. I did not see that coming.
God
M. Night
dang it,
Shyamalan.
I haven't seen that yet.
What
What a twist!
Oh well.
Okay, so let's see. But no, I don't know. I was like, you know what? What was the one that was I cannot remember. It blew my mind. They were remaking the film for like the 4th time.
He-Man?
No, because that's a movie they need to do if they're gonna do stuff like that.
That one's got a release date listed now.
Cool.
Shrek 5 is coming out.
They need to stop that one. Just put it down.
Then we had like, I love the Pixar films. I think they're awesome. I have been waiting for an Incredibles 2 because it was a movie that needed a sequel. Toy Story 4. I thought you tied it up nicely in Toy Story 3.
Yeah, I
Leave it
thought
alone.
3 was supposed to be the last one.
They're doing a Toy Story
I mean,
4.
it's bad enough that 3 got robbed of the Best Picture Oscar. They're really going to make a sequel to 3?
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. They're, I know they're making a Wreck-It Ralph sequel.
Which is worthwhile.
Yeah, it's worthwhile. I mean, but I mean, like, they're talking about a Frozen sequel. I'm like, you know what? Please, put a spike in my eye right now.
Hey,
Because-
at least we're supposedly going to get more Dolph Lundgren as Ivan Drago in Creed 2.
Yes.
No.
Which, yes, he's coming back as Drago.
Well, that's still mostly rumored, I think.
Either way,
Isn't he also in Aquaman?
Yes, he's playing the king. Now, I have no problem with the Creed films because it is a nice offshoot of the Rocky films.
Creed's also a great movie.
Yes, Creed was a really good movie. And say what you will about Sylvester Stallone, he does a good job with his movies.
So, one thing I want to know, since we're kind of approaching the latter end of the show now, is why didn't we talk about the best thing to come out of Infinity Wars over the week?
Cap with a beard?
Close.
Blonde Black Widow?
No, you were much closer with Cap with a beard.
Captain
But I kind of want to wait till Jim gets back.
Holy hell, Jason Statham is 50 today.
Are we talking about the fact that Marvel will not let Tom Holland read the Infinity script? Because he leaks too much?
His mouth shut.
Exactly. He's like a miniature Robert Downey Jr.
What's Jim gets back?
If he gets back at this point.
Yeah, if he gets back.
This
we'll give him a
2
couple
hours
minutes.
flew by.
And we haven't even come up with the title.
Jim Bray can't stay here.
There you go.
Yeah, well, that's half of it right
Jim
there.
Bray goes away.
Or please don't sue us, Harmony Gold.
Yeah. There we go. Jim Bray goes away, or please don't sue us, Harmony Gold. That's the name for this episode.
I know. I keep dropping out, and then it just automatically reconnects. It's freaking me out here. What the hell?
Maybe your wife is unplugging and replugging in the router.
Now that you're back, this is the best part to come out of Infinity Wars.
Nomad?
No.
The Metal Gear Solid. Yes, I saw that.
Metal Gear. Thanos.
I would pay for that.
He actually looks like he could pull Snake off.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah.
Which Snake, though? Solid or the big boss?
He's looking more solid.
Liquid.
No, he's not
could be
liquid.
liquid.
He's not liquid at all. No.
He's not liquid at all.
Get out!
Gaseous?
Honestly, I mean, if we went with gaseous, if we went with Chris Evans as Snake, we still have to have David Hayter as the voice. I'm sorry, Chris, but we gotta have the voice.
Right.
They overdub all of his lines with David Hayter.
Yeah, totally. You have to. That voice is just it's a central part of the character.
You've got to have
Well,
the voice.
if we really want to get the right revenge, then doesn't it need to be, what's his name from 24, dubbed over by David Hayter?
Who?
Oh God,
The original voice actor for Snake.
The new voice of Snake is
Kiefer
Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Different Snake though.
Yeah,
But
to be
to
fair,
get
it is a different Snake.
That's
But
Big Boss.
still, to get the best revenge, he should be Snake and then dubbed over by the other guy.
True.
That'd be
I still
funny.
say 10 years ago, maybe about 10 years ago, when Kiefer Sutherland would have made a pretty good Aquaman.
Oh, we forgot to mention that apparently Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s, and we're going to see Samuel L. Jackson with two eyes.
Now,
And Skrulls.
That's what I want to talk about. Does that mean potentially that they're getting back some of the rights to some of the stuff from the Fantastic Four?
Yes, because I thought the Skrulls were tied up in that.
God, I hope so.
It depends. I know a lot of different rights from Sony and Fox have transferred back to Marvel because because Fox was no longer interested, like in Ghost Rider and Punisher, that sort of thing. They've all transferred back over to Marvel because they had no interest in those franchises. But there's like butthurtness right now with Fantastic Four, so who knows at this point.
Yeah, but if
Well,
MCU get a hold of Fantastic
there's a
Four.
Screen Rant article that says James Gunn explains how the Skrulls can be in the MCU.
I don't know. I can tell you right now, there's more than butthurt over the Fantastic Four. I'm pretty sure it's a prolapsed anus at this point.
They canceled the comic over those
All
movies.
out
Yeah.
like Peters.
And in Marvel Ultimate Heroes, I think it's either a a mobile game or something. Marvel has pulled all sales of the Fantastic Four characters from all their games.
They literally killed all four actors from the Fantastic Four movie in one of the comic books.
Yes.
They are not including any characters that are in any of the Fox franchises in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
I believe it.
And then we get the X-Men films. They just keep cranking them suckers out. We got X-Men TV shows now. Fox is like, we've got this, and we are going to bleed it until we can't bleed it no more, and we're going to screw it up every time.
I think I'm glad that Hugh Jackman's done with Wolverine. I love him as Wolverine, but I think he's right. It was time to go.
I would still like to see them in Infinity War where they break reality, and for a brief period of time we get, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine one last time, and he just sees, Hulk and is like, "I'ma kill it."
Okay, what is up with all the idiot fanboys that swear Alfred isn't talking to Superman in that trailer?
They think he's talking to the Green Lantern.
Bullshit.
How would
Basically.
Alfred know who the Green Lantern is?
Exactly.
Now,
Now,
secondly, they make it seem like the person he's talking to is going to be the savior that bring them all together.
Plus,
that's not Hal
Steppenwolf
Jordan.
specifically mentions that there's no lanterns on Earth.
Exactly.
Or Kryptonians. But
Yep.
there is one, I think Screen Rant had it up. Screen Rant or Comic Book Resources. There is a screenshot they pulled where Bruce Wayne is staring at a hologram of what people assumed was Superman. But if you look at the hologram, the leg is bare. Not Superman's leg. There is no blue. It is a boot and bare leg, which means
Power Girl?
Supergirl? Did
It
they
coulda-
just?
Well, no, yeah, it doesn't. It could be Power Girl too, couldn't it?
Could be. No, Power
They're
Girl
still
has blue
technically
boots.
Kryptonian, though.
Yeah, she's still Kryptonian, but there could be that aspect of it. It could be him looking into trying to find a replacement for Superman. Because he's trying to recruit.
John Jones?
I don't know if they're going to introduce John Jones.
Oh hell yeah! Marvel's New Warriors adds Keith David in a recurring role.
Oh, did you see? Okay, as we're wrapping this up, since we're talking the comic book stuff, I guess the showrunner for Inhumans is referring to the Inhumans in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as New Humans, and that they are the Inhumans in the TV show Inhumans are full hardcore Inhumans that have been around for ages. They know who they are, what their powers are, and the sacredness of the Terrigen and the Terrigen rights and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the people on Earth that are just coming into their new human stuff have no clue. These people are embedded.
The Inhumans thing was completely unconnected to the rest of the MCU.
Well, we'll see.
Also, have you seen this BS about a CGI Harold Ramis?
Oh, don't do this.
No, what?
Apparently, Reitman said at Comic-Con that Egon Spengler returning via CGI is a possibility.
No, unless he's a freaking hologram.
Well, I guess he could be a ghost.
That could be.
But still.
Apparently, it's been confirmed that Daniel Craig will be back as James Bond in the next film.
Thank God.
And then we get Idris Elba.
Actually, there's a lot of people still hoping that Idris Elba will be Jon Stewart.
Yes, I could live with that too.
Yep, I'd
And
be good.
they have confirmed that Jon Stewart will be in the upcoming Lantern film.
It'll be several lanterns.
Yeah, but it's going to focus primarily on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
Well, now that we have a female Doctor Who, maybe the next one will be Jane Bond.
No, I was just going to say that. I was going to say, you know what? It's going to sound misogynistic and all that kind of stuff. Oh, you hate women. James Bond is James Bond.
Just make another female agent who belongs to the same organization.
Well,
there's a lot
Jinx
of
was
double
supposed
O's.
to get her own movie, but that movie bombed so badly they decided not to do it.
There's a whole lot going on in MI6. You can have a whole offshoot. If you're going to offshoot from Bond, you can do it that way. James Bond needs to either stay James Bond, or they just need to kill the character and then move on with another character. Do not just change it for the sake of saying, hey, now she's got a uterus. No. Nope. Sorry. There are certain things that just need to be left alone.
Maybe what'll happen is you'll see Daniel Craig in the opening scene, and then he'll have to go into hiding and he'll undergo gender reassignment surgery.
But it's still Daniel Craig in a dress.
Here's the thing.
Oh my god, that jawline.
Wearing lipstick and everything.
I suspect that we might see a female offshoot of either James Bond or The Expendables, depending on how well a movie that's, I think, coming out tomorrow does.
Oh, I cannot wait to see that.
What's it called?
That is
Atomic
my birthday
Blonde.
movie.
Thank you, that's it.
That is my birthday present to myself, is going to see that.
Speaking
I
of
always
which,
go and see a movie by myself for my birthday.
She's going to be in Orville. On Orville, not in Orville.
Yeah,
in Orville.
that's confirmed.
Yes, Sharon
Well, if
Stone
she's,
will be
she's
on the Orville.
If she's on the ship, she's in the ship, so she's going
That's
to be in
true.
Orville.
Maybe she's just the voice of the computer.
Get on the
Hello,
plane, get
computer.
on the plane. F you, I'm getting in the plane. Let Evil Knievel get on the plane. I love George Carlin. I also like Stephen Wright. I was just watching some of his stuff last night. I was born by cesarean section, but you can't tell. Except when I leave the house, I don't go through the door, I leave out the window. Stuff like that, it's great. Go to humidifier to dehumidifier in a room, and I let him fight it out. The man's a genius. You put wax in my humidifier, now my room's all shiny. I would love to do that. People come in. Whoa!
I'm still a little upset. How is The Rock still Black Adam? Not going to be in Shazam.
It's The Rock.
He does what he wants to.
Because maybe they're not going to... introduce the big bad right off the bat?
Who kind of becomes an anti-hero.
I was going to say he spent a long time not really as a villain.
He's not a good guy. He's a Venom. He's above DC.
He'll team up with you, but don't turn your back on him.
That was one of the things that I found interesting when I watched all the cutscenes and story stuff from Injustice and Injustice 2. He really didn't seem like a bad guy. He just seemed like he was doing what he thought was necessary.
Kind of like Dr. Manhattan.
Really wanted to protect his city.
He's a villain who has a reason for what he does.
Like Namor.
Yeah.
He's a villain because he has to be.
He's kind of very similar.
Not only in look, but in their
motives.
Raison d'etre.
Congratulations, Alistair. Steven Spielberg's Halo TV series is still in the works.
Okay.
Aren't you all about Halo?
I am.
Hello to you too.
See what you did there.
So, you know what? I kind of like the idea, going back to the whole Captain Marvel set in the 90s thing. I like that they're establishing that heroes have been all throughout since Captain America in 45 or whatever it was, 44. When did he die? Was it 44 that they set that at 44?
I think it's like 44, 45, somewhere in there between maybe.
Ant-Man had gone through the 60s and
the 70s. Man, that's the other thing we missed is Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne.
Giggity. I'm sorry, I've got a sauce for Michelle Pfeiffer.
Is she going to again and bring her back?
I think they find her.
Well, he did prove that you can go down and come back.
Yeah, but how are they going to explain that? It's been, many, many years.
Well, once you go down so far, time stops.
There's some theory that he's already seen her, and that's what she helped him figure out how to grow back.
I saw that film.
Because it's a different It's a different. You're entering a different reality at that point. Once you hit the the microverse, it's a different reality. Therefore, time doesn't move the same way because you're moving slower than the particles of matter. Something to that effect. They did in the comic books.
When she gets back to her normal size.
She really is.
Oh, we forgot to mention the other big movie release. That stars one Sir Patrick Stewart as Poop.
Emoji.
It's going to make tons of money, and that's going to be sad. And you know what? I want to beat Seth Rogen with a bet. Every time we go to the Red Box, my kid sees the thing for Sausage Party and wants to rent it. I have a 5-year-old. Can we get that one, Daddy? I was like, no, we're not getting Sausage Party.
That's not a kid's film.
I was at my friend's place, and she has like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, and he got the Netflix up, and we walked into the room, and he was watching Sausage Party. It had just started, and I looked at her, and I'm like, "Do we stop? Do we stop this, or is he still too young to understand most of this?" And she's like, we should probably stop it. And I'm like, am I bad for thinking that I should like not?
Yes.
Yes.
A 2-year-old's brain. Yeah, it's on par enough that it will pick up enough that she will have issues later in life.
Yeah. So my friend's like, yeah, we need to turn this off right now. Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was
Speaking of
funny.
turning things off.
Oh,
what?
Uh-huh. Didn't they show the trailer of Sausage Party on a kids at a kids movie? Which one was it?
I don't remember. All I know is they got in trouble for it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
It was one of the chains put it out there. Well, I can't remember. It was either Cinemark or AMC got in trouble for it because they put the trailer. What movie was it in front of? Minions movie, maybe?
Something like
good
that.
Lord.
Something popular. It was something really popular. Yeah, it was Minions movie. It was.
Nope. Firefly in the chat says Finding Dory.
That's right. Yep, it was Finding Dory. Because I knew it was a really popular one.
Finding Dory was an okay film. Nothing to write home about. The first one was just much better. As much as I love Ellen DeGeneres in that role, and she does such a good job with it, the movie was okay. But very much looking forward to Incredibles 2. Which it takes place 15 minutes after the first one.
I never even seen the first one.
Oh, you gotta see the first one, dude.
What?
So does that mean we'll actually get to see the battle with the mole?
Yes, the
guys?
Underminer.
The Underminer.
The Underminer.
Oh my god. I was scrolling through Facebook and I come across one of those days where it shows a potential post from us that we can sponsor. And it's just we are live! And it shows the Geek Easy logo in black and white and the words offline underneath it.
Yes. Quite funny, isn't it?
It's just... Yeah.
I need to find a better image.
We are live, Dad.
Speaking of staff meeting after the show. 10 minutes.
Wait, we have staff meetings?
We will.
Wait, we have staff?
You're all fired.
I have a hiking staff. Does that count?
Hiking staff.
Of knowledge?
I have a staph infection.
Oh, dude.
That sounds like you need to get that looked at too, man. That's why you don't play with your wooden staff. It spinners and then it leads to an infection. It's just not... And all of us are going, what? Anyway, well, we should wrap up.
We probably should. Can you guys hear that in the background behind me?
No.
It was a 5-year-old got into the donuts and left sugar all over the place. My wife is vacuuming it up.
Nope, didn't hear it.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty sad when you have to keep donuts and candy and stuff hidden away from them in our room.
As a side note, Firefly, he's been in there chatting. We've been adding comments and whatnot, and his last thing that he put here was, "Thou shalt not show thy rod to thy staff."
It's true. Would you like to see the captain's log?
Seems like a good policy to me.
Jim, the pirate from Valerian.
That's it. No spoilers.
No, that's not a spoiler. He knows. Don't believe me. He knows.
Well, it is.
That's part of the film.
That was a WTF moment for sure.
It was entertaining. That was for sure.
We got 50 seconds, and then going on the 2-hour mark, and then we kill it with fire.
Quick, fill it, Phil.
I don't know. Everybody, let's have a sing along.
Let's vamp.
Vamp.
What's wrong with you?
I'm not a vampire.
Vampirella.
Oh, our title is Jim Bray stuck in revolving door, or How Many Gold? Please don't sue us.
What are we gonna sing along to?
I don't know. I miss Bernie Mac.
Kick him! Somebody kick him!
We did talk about Darkwing Duck being on DuckTales, right?
I think we talked about that last week.
Yeah,
last Friday you talked about it.
We did. Darkwing Duck.
There's these things making an appearance. That's apparently been confirmed more than once now.
Yes. Darkwing
Oh my
Duck will
God.
exist in the same universe this time as.
I'm
the
more excited
DuckTales.
for this DuckTales universe than I am for anything else.
Yes. Well, they're saying that the original DuckTales and Darkwing Duck existed in separate universes, but had the same characters. Which
Yeah,
is kind of
multiverse,
like
yeah.
it was like
And
a
no,
DuckTales
Firefly, I will not be
multiverse.
singing that. It's not possible. I will not sing the Marine song. I just can't do it.
Oh, Top Gun 2. There's another one we don't need.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
10 years ago, maybe.
Kill me now.
Like, let's say 60-year-old Tom Cruise climb into a jet.
No, he's not gonna be in a jet. He's just gonna control a drone.
That is going to be the world's most boring film.
Is it seriously? That's the premise?
So it's no longer highway to the danger zone, it's lawn chair to the danger zone?
Lawn chair to the
lazy boy. Highway to the lazy boy.
Well, I've got to fly this drone, but first I need my Metamucil.
Forget your insure. I mean, I'm not going to say, I mean, the dude is insane shape, but he's just not, I mean, I don't know. How old was Michael Ironside in the original one?
No idea.
Wasn't that much older. I mean, Tom Cruise has got to be in it. He's in his 60s, right? Late 50s?
Firefly, I have Exterminators holding on line 3.
Oh, and there we go. James Cameron wants to make another Terminator film.
Well, I don't know.
Well, they did leave the last one.
And I like the last one. I enjoyed that
You know, considering when they originally
enjoyed the last one.
announced it and how long it's been since, I think by the time it comes out, it's not going to be Top Gun 2, it's going to be Top Gun, because he's going to have to put in dentures.
Oh, Lord.
Buns are free. And on that note,
good night, folks. Now we just need the Animaniacs to come back and Marsupilami, and we're all good.
Aren't the Animaniacs actually coming back?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right, they are.
Yep, sure are.
Futurama. Futurama is the next one. Bring
got a
Futurama
game.
back.
got
I
a
know,
game.
and the game sucks.
and they're making that whole cast and crew, whatnot. They are going to make a Dungeons and Dragons fantasy thing.
Yes, I saw that.
Show.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
Yes, Matt Groening is making a fantasy show. So he's done The Simpsons, which was the take on sitcoms. He's done the sci-fi route.
And they've
now he's
already
going
kind of done
fantasy.
that anyway in Futurama. So
Yes.
here we are, a Dungeon
Fut-
and Dragons. I didn't see that
I guess
coming.
Fry shows up anyway.
Yeah, he's like, good news, You're not everyone. But
Good news, everyone. Bad news.
I guess we have Rick and Morty, so Futurama can rest. Even though Futurama was so funny.
You know, I've never watched... Okay, I know this is going to baffle people. I've never watched Rick and Morty proper.
You got to watch Rick and Morty proper.
Oh, God.
But
Oh,
I
God,
did
yeah.
watch a playthrough of the entire virtual reality game. And that does have me interested in watching Rick and Morty.
Oh, the show is
Oh, God.
hilarious.
The show is, yeah. Fan-fucking-tastic.
There it is. Haha, we keep the show PG-13, thank you, and you just nailed our first and only F word.
Whoops.
I'm kidding, don't worry about
Hey,
it, it's fine.
Yeah,
Hey.
Friday night was definitely not PG-13.
No, it was not.
You remember, the following broadcast is intended for mature audiences. So
I know.
Fuck.
You jackass.
Wait,
All
which
right,
audience
Ron
is?
White. All right, Ron White, calm down.
They call me Tater Tot.
No, tater salad.
No, I'm
salad.
Tater Tot.
His
He's
son
Tater
is
Salad.
Tater Tot.
Tater Tot.
I like the fact that he named his dog Sluggo.
Didn't he die recently?
Sluggo?
Sluggo?
Yes,
No,
Big
Ron
Sluggo's
White.
gone.
They call me Curly Fry.
Ron White didn't die.
No, not Ron
he
White, the
did.
dog.
the dog Sluggo. Sluggo is getting old though.
Hey, Ron White better not be dead.
Nah, he's still making posts.
Okay. I'm sure he's dead. Doc, prop him up, play tapes. We got an investment here.
Please, you'll have to beat his liver to death with a stick.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah.
don't know where I heard. I thought he died.
He pickled himself a long time ago. He's fine.
True story. He owns his own tequila factory.
Thought he drank whiskey.
He does, but he has a tequila factory.
Okay.
I admire
And it's
him
apparently
even
really
more.
good.
I admire him even more.
I don't know. Tequila is one of those bad drinks that turns everybody to Superman.
Apparently, it's one of the tequilas that's actually a good tequila, but whatever. I don't know.
Vodka makes you angry. Tequila makes you just think you're Superman. Either that or it makes your clothes fall off, literally. What's the other
Or
one?
explode depending on how much.
Whiskey. I don't know. I've never been drunk on whiskey, so I don't know how.
I get tired.
All I know is it's 11 o'clock here, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yes. So on that,
Good night, folks.
drink them if you got them. Smoke them if you got them. If you're in Colorado, smoke some more and then fall down.
I'm near Colorado.
Well, cross the border, go get yourself some.
Playing he doesn't have some already.
That's true.
He is,
How do
after all,
how
a
do
badger.
How do you know I don't?
He is, after all, a badger. You know they hang out with mushrooms.
Mushroom.
I know they. I don't. I know they don't give. I'm not saying it. I'm not going to go that route.
Well, that particular badger is actually a weasel.
Technically, you're right.
Okay. Okay, so next week, I have no idea what we're going to talk about because it's going to be one of those weeks.
We might talk about Dunkirk then.
We'll talk about Dunkirk if we all go see it, hopefully.
I might talk about Spider-Man.
Speed Dream. There you
Could
go.
be caught up.
I have no
You'll be
movie
caught up.
theater where I live.
Boaterman.
I live in Wyoming.
Oh. Okay, so next week we'll talk about whatever, and then some Dunkirk, and all this, and I'm done.
Badger's gonna
You guys
move.
done?
And I'll pirate it.
Thanks to our special just walked in the door guest Badger.
You know, I know when we had the Shivanwiki Cantina, we had an open door policy, but this isn't a bar anymore, so we should take that down.
It is. Well, no, you got to have the password.
Yeah, but Badger doesn't give a shit.
There you go.
Yay!
And the Geek Easy technically is still a bar, but it's a speakeasy. You got to have the password. You got to open the door, and Spock opens a little window and looks at you.
What's the
Yeah,
password?
like I
Password.
said though, like originally when I came back from AFK, I just said, "Oh, there's a bunch of people in there." I didn't even bother to scroll up. I just entered the room. I'm like, "Oh shit, on air. Sorry."
The door opened, and a Fig Newton entered. We're all good. It's all good. No, it's good. You just walk on in. I don't care. They
Walk
might, but
on
I don't
in.
care.
Sit right down.
Easy
only one-
like a
the only
Sunday
one-
morning.
Okay, we gotta stop singing. We've broken into song. We're ending the show.
We're done.
We're done.
That's what
Time of
happens when
death?
I drink milk.
207, 56, 57, 58. I can just keep catching this. Okay, say goodnight, boys.
Good
Good night,
boys.
boys.
Good night,
Good night,
boys.
boys.
I can't find the button.
Muffin butt.
The big shiny button. The big candy like button.